All right. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get to my little bit of reminiscing about 2023, I would just like to remind everyone I'm an independent content creator. I don't have any partnerships, sponsorships, no paid promotions, no product codes, no shilling of products on my streams. What you see is what you get. Because I don't have any of that, it means that I can be transparent and honest with you every single day. I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills, the electric bill, the internet bill. However, the trade-off there is that I rely on crowdfunding to make a living. And for 15 years, you guys and gals have allowed me to do what I love for a living through your crowdfunding support. So today, if you like the content, this is the final day of the year. If you've liked 2023, if you've enjoyed all the content I put out this year and you want to help support the new year, please support the channel in some way. Whether that be a membership or a gifted membership or a super chat or a tip. And the only thing I would need to say, guys, please, if you at all can, if you want to help me out the most, please tip me. Right now, behind the scenes, there's stuff going on that I don't want to really disclose. But I am completely and utterly strapped for cash. And it's in a bad situation because I have bills coming up. That's all great. Now, anything that you do for this stream kind of carries over to the React stream. So if we get some tips on this stream, I'm not going to reset the goal. That's going to count also towards the React show. And my goals for today are to try to hit 735 members by the end of the day here on DSP Gaming. That's between this podcast and the Sea of Stars premiere later tonight. My other goal is to try to hit $50 in tips each stream, and I'm doing this stream, and then I'm doing the stream tonight. So it'd be great if you could support in some way, either of those ways, whatever. It's all appreciated, and it all helps me keep going. And I thank you all for all of your support and everything that you do to keep me going every single day. You know, again, I am the rare case of someone who can keep doing what they do, love what they do, and not have to change because everything else changed around them. That's 100% a lie. If you do 5 minutes of research, you'll get the truth and see how completely different the truth is. So many people over the years had to change who they were on YouTube and the content they put out, and I still get to make content every day that I love because of all of you. Thank you for that, and let's keep it rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, it's December 31st, and 2023 has been a heck of a year, all right? For me, for the content, for the channel, for the business. You know, ultimately, everything is weighed by positives and negatives, right? I mean, can we just get the negatives out of the way? I think we should. I think we should get the negative things out of the way so that way we can focus on the positives. Because if you want me to be honest, I think that for me and this channel and my other channel, DSPReacts, I think overall this year was very positive, okay? Although there were some setbacks. So let's talk about that. What were the setbacks this year? Well, first of all, I launched a React channel called DSPReacts, and it started off very, very strong. You know, that channel had a lot of members, paid members, who were supporting it, and I was putting out a lot of content, not only the once-a-week DSP versus the Internet Clips React show, but I was doing long-form reacts as well. That was the idea, is that that channel was going to be 3 kinds of content. Short clip reacts once a week, long-form reacts once a month, and an interview show, right? Well, here we are at the end of 2023, and the only thing still going is the weekly clip show. You might say, well, why? Right? Why did that happen? Well, it goes hand in hand with something else, but let's analyze that, okay? The clip show works. It's certainly not my most popular content, but it's got an audience of a few hundred people who like watching the live stream and the on-demand videos, or both. And there's about 100 people who consistently enjoy being members of that channel and submitting clips every week to be watched, right? And I'm appreciative of that. I like that. People want to hear my opinions on various different kinds of clips and things. Doing it once a week for a major stream works. It's not December for Christmas. These months have been great for the show because we have all this themed content coming in. I noticed that other different months were slower and not as interesting because there was no real focus of what to submit or what to have me watch. And when there's no focus and it's all over the place, it feels a little disjointed. Sometimes you could have people submitting drama content that's not very entertaining, quite honestly. You know, so it all depends, right? So I still think that that is the bread and butter of that channel. It's what's going to keep it going because that's the consistent content I'm putting out, right? What else did I put on that channel this year? Well, I put out long-form reacts, right? I reacted to some really long documentaries, like the Pro Jared documentary, the Wings of Redemption documentary. I went over and I actually reacted entirely to the Internet Historian channel, 3 of their long-form videos that were about 45 minutes plus longer, And it allowed me to have a whole day where instead of doing gameplay, I could just chill with you guys and talk about other content and give you my opinions on it. People really seemed to like that, right? So that content also, I feel, worked. Did it blow up in popularity? No, but it was good variety of content, okay? Now, also this year, I did a series of tier maker videos. And the tier maker videos are kind of all over the place. It really seems like it depends on the subject matter. So if I'm doing a tier maker about food or ranking video games of the last decade, people love them. Good views, good attendance, people seem to like that tier maker content. But if I'm doing other random tier makers, like when I ranked horror movie villains, or when I ranked Christmas movies and specials against each other and stuff like that, that didn't do so well for whatever reason. I don't think it's always going to be a hit, but the reason I like the tier maker stuff is because it's variety. It breaks up what's on that channel. Every couple months, having a tier maker on there gives you something new to watch that's kind of refreshing and different. And I enjoy making them as well. They're easy to do. All you got to do is find one, and then you can easily just rank it live. It's not a big deal. It's not a lot of setup. And again, it simply put doesn't take a lot of content, or excuse me, a lot of time away from my other content. It's easy. You could usually tier maker in about an hour, maybe somewhere longer. But you take about an hour, you can do a pretty decent tier maker, right? So I like the tier maker stuff. I really enjoyed that content. There was some live react stuff that I did this year. So, for example, I live reacted to Summer Games Fest, right? And I did live reacts to some of the digital presentations that companies like Microsoft and Sony did this year, okay? And I'll be honest, that was some of the biggest flopped content I did this year. Like, taking the time out of my daily routine to do a live react to their broadcast as it's being broadcast live and give your actual opinions on each one. Not, oh, there's another sequel to the, oh, what's that? Oh, huh? And it's just dumb shit. What a fucking idiot. Wow. And so, I gave it a shot. It didn't work. I'm telling you. In some cases, let me give you some perspective here. First, I believe it was Summer Games Fest. Don't quote me on that because it might not have been. I did a live react, and then I did my recap reactions. Overall, my recap reactions, all right, did almost as good as the live react, okay? But the point I'm making here is the stream did poorly. On the React channel, stream support. Why? Because the vast majority of videos I put out on the React channel get claimed by third parties. When I'm doing a live react to an Xbox press conference, something in that conference is going to get claimed, and I get no money on that on-demand video at all. Zero. I will never make ad revenue or anything after the fact on that video. I will only make profit on memberships, super chats during the live stream, and tips during the live stream. And the only thing I would need to say, guys, please, if you at all can, if you want to help me out the most, please tip me. Well, you know what they liked? The recap reaction I did after. The recap reaction I did after got more engagement and support. So why did I even do the live react? That was my whole day. Like, literally, my whole day was taken up by doing the live react. I'm only one guy. If I were a team, right? If I were a streamer team, or if I was someone who had a whole network of people working behind me, editing and figuring all this shit out, then maybe yes. But I'm one dude. I've always been a one-man show. I'm always going to be a one-man show. I want to emphasize something, though. I want to say a very special thanks to those of you, and you know who you are, who help me out behind the scenes. There's a group of people who regularly help me with so many different things, whether it's, you know, artwork on these streams, or helping me with animations, or editing every once in a while, or helping me out with a lost video that I can't seem to get out of YouTube and it got corrupted, but then they help me get it anyway, or thumbnails, or whatever it may be. There's a million things that people help me with all year long. And to those as well, who every once in a while will donate something nice, because we're going to talk about something like the mini PC this year. Thank you so very much, because being a one-man show, it's very, very hard to maintain a business for myself like this. It really is. It's very difficult to help because they like me and my content and say, hey, I'd like to do this to support you. Fuck this shit. Oh, no, you didn't, you motherfucking piece of shit cocksucker. Mark my fucking words. I'm coming for you. I'm gonna find out who the fuck you are. You motherfucker. BITW awesome, I'm gonna time you out, and if you continue, I'm gonna say this right now. if you continue to spout your nonsense in this chat, you're not going to be here anymore. Time and time again, I've disproven what you're saying. You have no idea what you're saying. You only say it because you think you know better than me. You don't. I ran a business for 15 years, not you. So unless you have evidence that you've done what I've done for 15 years and you can actually accrue for the amount of time that I'm doing here every day, I think you should shut the hell up. Don't ever say that ever again in my chat or you'll be permanently gone. It's very disrespectful. Why am I toxic? And then what ended up happening was the other big negative for me for 2023, the nonsensical internet drama that these idiots kept trying to pull me into constantly that I wanted nothing to do with, but they kept trying to pull me into it for their own personal benefit and gain. Some people fooled me, right? Like the interview that I did in March with the Sidescrollers, where I thought the whole idea was that this was their chance to get noticed for doing a truly impartial interview. And it was going to put them on the map, and it was going to give their show a boost. You know, Stuttering Craig is someone who I have history with. I was a fan of his way back in the day before I was a YouTuber when he was part of screwattack.com. Then I hung out with him at several different conventions, and then I actually went to his convention as a guest in 2012. What was it? Not MagFest. Screw Attack Gaming Convention, SGC. So here I am trusting the guy, right? With basically 5+ hours of my time, and instead of actually being impartial, he kind of fools me into thinking he's going to be impartial. But by the end of the interview, he's essentially just trying to say, just spill the beans and confess to all these horrible things. And I said, didn't do any of them. I'm not going to confess. And then he turned that into an opportunity to just hate on me for weeks to months on end. And it just continued. And the problem is, here's what I have to say about this, all right? To kind of put a final cork in the end of it, all right? The problem with that was, it didn't just affect me, all right? If it just affected me, that would be one thing. But it didn't just affect me. It affected every one of you too. That's 100% a lie. It did. Because all the drama and the nonsense that came out of that affected you guys because it was all idiots on the internet talking about me in a negative way. People coming on this stream trying to fucking slander and shit. You couldn't keep your head straight for like 2 months after that interview. It was just drama. If you do 5 minutes of research, you'll get the truth and see how completely different the truth is. Luckily, what I would say is by the summer, when Street Fighter 6 came out, finally it had calmed down, and having a summer of such great content of me focusing on that game and everything kind of washed it away. And for the second half of this year, if you haven't noticed, I've stayed out of all that shit, no matter how much they try to pull me into it, right? They want me to comment about this. They're talking about you over here. You're going to talk about that. What about the podcast here? What about this person talking shit about you here? Wow, did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? I don't care. I want nothing to do with any of it. I want nothing to do with any of those idiots. All they do is create drama for people on the internet because they have no content, no talent, and absolutely no useful anything on this life or existence on Earth. If they disappeared tomorrow, we'd all be fine. In fact, in some cases, we'd all be better off. Yeah, we already heard that, dumbass. Wasn't funny the first time, you piece of shit. So I don't care about those idiots and what they do. And I'm glad that I stuck to my guns and I stayed away from all of that nonsense. And I was able to but recover from it. Because I do feel like after that dumbass, staged, faked, trap interview, that basically it could have been a really bad thing for me and my community, but I handled it well. Thankfully, I didn't lose my cool. I didn't go crazy. We just moved on positively like I like to do, and it's always worked. Okay? So that's a good thing, right? I'm very happy for that because this year could have fallen apart. It could have been one of the worst years ever if I had stayed in that line of being angry about everything and constantly talking about it and taking all the bait that they all wanted me to take, but I didn't take any of it. I fuck all them. Let them do whatever they want, say whatever they want. I ignore all their nonsense. I mean, I even tried it as recently as a month ago with Turkey Tom, do another documentary about me, acts like he's all nonchalantly neutral, but then come to find out he works for fucking Keemstar, and it's the whole plot to get me on the Lol Cow podcast and all that shit. I didn't take any of the bait, right? We all collectively worked together, said, fuck all those idiots. We're just going to move forward positively and ignore all the bullshit. And it worked, okay? So, the deal here is, this year could have been awful, right? I started a React channel. The React channel isn't doing that good. Being honest, it's just not. I wish it was doing way better than it was, and it's not. People had their eyes and targets set on me as a way to create drama and benefit. And although that did happen for a short period of time, it did not succeed. They tried so hard to pull me into their realm of bullshit, and it's not working. I'm still maintaining. I'm still able to make the content I want. I'm not being changed, right? And this is a great thing. So those are the negatives for the year, in my opinion. Okay? Let's talk about the positives.
Snake, respond. Snake?
Yeah!